Hi there. I want to talk to you a little bit more about Artistly. Okay, so I have a group on Facebook, and I'm just going to address a couple of issues about Artistly. I've been using it since its launch. I believe that was in October. I have been able to see this is kind of ground floor with Artistly, and I've been able to see a lot of improvements and a lot of new features, but it is in the early stages. So it's wonderful because it is the one-time payment, lifetime use. They have a couple of programs right now. I don't know when you'll be watching this, so always get the most current information. I do have my link down in the comments, but I did want to show you a couple of things that may help you in either deciding whether Artistly is the right AI program for you to use with your business, or whether there are ways that you can help with your workflow depending on what you're designing and what you're designing it for. So anyway, this is kind of going to be just a lot of ideas. Okay, so this is the dashboard. It's not the window you come up with. If you're familiar with Artistly, you'll already know that. But this is what, when I go into the program, this is what I see. Um, this is actually, there will be another screen. There will be the screen that I go to. This AI image designer is where you'll do most of your designing. This is after I have designed something. This is, let me correct myself and say, this is my personal designs right here. Now, I make all of my personal designs private so that they don't go into this community designs tab right here. I'll click on it just so you can, and hope that there's nothing I have to delete out of here, because it is a community feed. It just randomly has things that either people have not made private on purpose, or they just forgot to um, make them private. So I'll take a few minutes because it's a pretty long feed. Okay, so not too bad up here, but anyway, you can kind of see that random things are here. So this is a good place that you can go to. I'll just use this as an example. You can click on the little eyeball here, and you can take this and you can play with the prompts and stuff. This actually looks like they may have used a prompt from a different program and pulled it in, because as you see, it's asking for, it's got all of this in here, and my experience is this wouldn't have rendered what they wanted to because of all of these little dots here and everything, but it didn't render what they wanted. They wanted an African American adult, but they didn't quite get that. So that this is probably why they have all of this in here, and then they went in and added this at the bottom. Artistly, for the most part, is going to do better with simpler prompts, and if you can get that settled, then you can add things, or you can um, like add layers to it. But if you start with a very simple prompt and kind of get it going in the right direction, then you can build on your prompt. If you just a lot of times pull in a Midjourney prompt, which I have seen them be extremely complicated, that can be like paragraphs long. Right now, Artistly is still in the learning stages, and it's going to probably take forever for it to pull that up. And even when it does, it's probably going to get confused. So you want to start sort of simply. Most of my prompts that I get really good results from, I'm not overfeeding it information, and then I'm tweaking once it sends me the image. I tweak that image based on what it's already delivered. So in order to get, for instance, if I'm starting another pack, and a clip art pack, and I want to have, I just did one with mice. And so I wanted mice with flowers and stuff. So in the very beginning, I had to tweak it because the first image it delivered didn't have the full mouse. It only, a lot of times it will do just, from the belly up or whatever image, or it'll cut off the feet. And those are fine. You can still use them for a lot of images. I still include them a lot of times in my packs, but most of the time I won't like the full body. So I'll have to go back in and tell it that I want it to deliver me a full body prompt. I want a full body mouse. I want the whole thing. Or I'll say standing, and a lot of times that will do it. So you will learn with Artistly, just like you learned with probably Midjourney if you were using it or one of the others, that you have to learn your prompts. And yes, you can pull in. Midjourney has way more out there that people have already tried that get good results with Midjourney. And I have actually purchased some and had people give me some Midjourney prompts that I have taken in. And sometimes they'll deliver pretty good results as long as they're not super complex. But for the most part, I've always kind of taken them and looked at those Midjourney prompts to get certain phrases that then I can pull into Artistly to get the results that I want. So I build a lot of my own prompts, but I do look at other ways that people phrase things and then see what works. So I know that's not a jump in there and do it exactly the way you want it type of thing. Let's look at this one because a lot of people do flowers. So see, this says set of watercolor roses, clip art featuring delicately painted roses in various colors and stages of bloom. With intricate details and soft blended hues. Each rose should be isolated on a transparent background, allowing for easy integration. It probably didn't do a transparent background, but it did do white, and you can remove the background. So this actually is a really good prompt because it looks as if it really delivered pretty much everything that they asked it to do. So you could learn from this, pull this in. In fact, we may try that in a different video. I'll take a prompt and then show you how you can adjust that prompt to get different results. Okay, so if you're using Artistly, and let's just say you want to use this prompt, two ways to do it. You can copy it and paste it in, or you can actually, Artistly has this feature that you can go ahead and go up here and click redesign. And it will actually, it's going to take it a little bit. It's a little slow this morning. Okay, so it takes the prompt and then it's going to put it in here for you, and then you can click redesign. You can choose over here. I'll just show you since I'm in here. Here you have the drop downs, and you can actually, if you decided now that you wanted to do comic instead of watercolor, you can change that now at this point. But you have all of these features, and they have on the, and we will get to the roadmap in a few minutes. I have that pulled up so I can show you that as well, because there may be features that you really would like to see. You might want to see what's in the works, and on the roadmap you can kind of see all the things that people have recommended that the company or the developers have already implemented and completed and made a part of the product that you would not have known weren't there in the beginning. So we'll go to the roadmap in a little bit, but for now we're just going to examine this. These are your negative prompts. Artistly typically is going to have these most common ones built in. You can remove them. You can do your own negative prompts. You can add over here if there's something that's doing over here you don't want, you can put it over here and hopefully it will sift it out. The negative prompts, if you are just starting at the beginning, you can do options and it will come up and this will be negative. So you would have to put something, even if it's no bright colors, or, sometimes I'll put no people or whatever, and I don't try to write a whole bunch of this stuff. Or you can copy and paste this back in. Okay, but normally if you just do the redesign at the top and you don't do choose options, you'll always have these negative prompts built in here, and then whatever prompt you type in at the top. But we're coming from the community designs now, so we already have what this person typed in. I'm not going to render this one just because that's not really what I'm doing with this particular video. But anyway, so over here is your style. You have the dimensions, so you can choose all of these. Now, let's look at the dimensions. Okay, there is an option to do 4 images with the 512 by 512. Now, this brings up a good point. If you are using the commercial version, I believe it's called, there's a commercial right now and there's a premium. I have the premium, which is the one with all the bells and whistles. There's not one that's above that. That was the one I purchased in the beginning when Artistly first came out and launched, because that was the only option that was really available then. They didn't have the other one. So that's how I got mine. Basically, you can, I'm going to go through, let's see, let me just sort of take a break and go over here to this comparison. So what we're looking at now is, and let me just grab my little highlighter. What we're looking at now is this premium 4 images per prompt. Okay, so we're going to go back over here. This is a feature in the premium. That was the $147, and this one is like the 40 something dollar one. Anyway, so we've got this premium 4 images per prompt. Okay, so at 512 at this dimension, then we have that option in that premium. We have that option all the way until we get to here. When you get bigger than the 1024 by 1024, you no longer have this option to do 4 images at one time. Now, regardless of which version you have, I've shown in one of my other videos how you can create through your prompting and get multiple images on one render. And that saves me a lot of time. I know a lot of the people in my group were saying about how slow, that it's slower than Midjourney. I don't use Midjourney, so I can't really make that comparison, but the ones that have used it, I understand that it probably is. And what I can say is, again, I'm going to go into the comparison. So it actually does say that as one of the premium, and I'm not going to say that it's super fast for me because it's not yet, but it is getting faster. And what I have noticed in the past couple of weeks is, though, they are tweaking in the background. And again, I'm doing this video 3/28 of 24. So if you're watching it some other time, then this is not going to be very green information for you, but for the ones that are watching it currently. The program is, the developers are working every day on improvements and tweaking things in the background. Sometimes that does make it a little bit slower for us when they're making and implementing those changes. You may even occasionally see a server thing flash up, and I have found that normally I can go in and refresh and it's gone. It's usually little blips. I've also found that with my workflow, I'll be doing just fine, and then maybe that afternoon, for a little while, it bogs down a little bit. Okay, I mean, it's not perfect, but for the most part, I'm able to do what I need to do, and the artwork that it helps me produce is amazing. And so for me, it works because I don't have to pay for it again. And I know that it's just going to get better. So I'm in on the ground floor. So it's worth it to me. Is it going to be worth it to every person who purchases the program? Probably not. And some people are going to choose to return it, or, to get their money back guarantee or whatever, which is great because I'm glad that's there, because nobody needs to be using tools that they're not able to work into their workflow and make work. I love it because I am learning so much, and have in the past few months. One of the reasons I created my group and I do these videos is because I want people to be able to give it a fair chance. Because if you just go into any new platform or software, I always do it very skeptically. And I want to make sure I'm not wasting my money. And I know y'all are the same way. And so I created all of this just to give you a little bit of my experience and some of my tips and tricks, so that at least you're evaluating the product already having some upfront information that the developers and the company don't really have. They have tutorials and things out there, but it may not be specifically in what you're doing with it. Most of us are creators. We're doing clip arts. We're doing printables, wedding invitations, bridal shower invitations. We're doing book covers, or all sorts of things like that. We may not be doing Art Deco, posters, or, our application may not be the same as what the general public would be using it for. So I can speak to things that would be important to us as creators, digital creators, that might not be applicable to some of the people that use it in a different way. So anyway, so back to the commercial and the premium differences. So I'm going to go back over into Artistly. So this is where you can actually do 4 images. Now they have tweaked this, and there was a problem at first, and it was doing 4 of the same image. So we reached out through the roadmap and some emails and stuff, and we were able to get an answer back, and they fixed it like right away. So that's the way you communicate with a company. If you put it on there, all the other users get to see it, and the developers are watching that roadmap. So it's actually better to put your information there and your wants and needs to get addressed, rather than even emailing the company. Because the developers are diligently looking at that space, because they created it to help them get feedback so that they can improve the program. So let me just flip over now. I'm going all over the place with this, but let's go over here to what this roadmap looks like, and I will put this down in the comments section. Now, if you don't own Artistly, you're not going to be able to log in and do any of this. So it won't really do you this link won't do you any good. But if you already have purchased, then you will be able to go in. You can set up, you'll log in sort of, and then you can create a post over here. And then these are some of the posts here of things that are in the works. Okay, so this is one right here. This generate 4 designs for each prompt instead of having to redesign projects repeatedly. This was something someone requested, and this was, all of the comments on that. And this just explains that if you don't like the design, or whatever, being able to produce multiple designs with the same prompt lets the users compare examples and make better informed decisions. So that was what they had said when they proposed this. The green says that it's actually been completed. So this was actually something that people just like us, users of Artistly, thought was a good idea. They put it on the roadmap, and now the developers have implemented that. Okay, so here are a few that they haven't done yet that have been very popular. So if you really want to help the program get better for you so that you have the program you want and need, then use this space to suggest things. Doesn't mean you'll get everything you want, but they are very receptive. If it's an idea that the general public really wants, they're going to try to figure out how to make it work. So here is one that has received 73 votes. It's been moved up, and this one has 77. Train custom models in the app to generate images of a specific person or object in multiple styles and poses. So this is probably something this is something that maybe takes a little bit more time on the developmental side. The add watermark or signature on AI generated designs feature has gotten a lot of attention. It always starts off with one person putting it on there, and then it's, this is the people that have responded. As we go down, this text inside of images. Now this feature, the text inside of images, they're still tweaking it. It's not perfect yet. I have used it, and it has done very well, and then I've used it and it wouldn't put text at all. So I'll say that's there, but they're tweaking it. So it'll be there for us dependably, probably in a little while, but they did complete this and did add this. Now we're going to go back over to Artistly, and I'm going to show you up at the top here. That is this AI text in image. You would click on it. I'm not going to do it now because I'm right in the middle of the other. But I'm going to go back over to what Artistly has in each package. And that feature is not available right now, or it is my understanding that it is not available um, in the commercial package, but it is available in the premium. So there's another difference between that. So we're going to go back over to the roadmap and let's see. Add line art. See, I would like to have this one, so I've already voted for it because I would like it to be a little easier. You can still do coloring books, but it'd be a lot easier if we just already had a line art. There's a lot that can be done with that, so that's a good one to vote for. Here is a repair and enhance old photos with AI. It's gotten quite a few votes because there may be people that use that in their business just to repair images for people that want to restore old photos. So, okay, so the removing backgrounds from images and download. This has been completed. I'll tell everybody I use Canva to remove my backgrounds. It works for me. When I'm designing clip art, I typically my workflow is if Canva doesn't do a really good job with that image, I just don't use it in my pack and I move on to another one. I don't get bogged down because y'all, I mean seriously, our packs are going to be awesome, but we're in a productivity type of business as well, so the more we can complete at the best quality we can, then that is more important than bogging down and spending hours trying to get the minute details of one image for a pack that you're going to have 25 images in. Now, that's my simplified way of looking at things. I know everybody may not share that with me, that idea, but I do know it works for me. So I look at it from a commercial standpoint and putting out the best product in the least amount of time with the least expensive resources. And that's how I approach my business. Okay, so they do have this. This will probably get better and better, but right now it's just not there and I don't use that feature as much. Now, generate AI images based on a reference image. Okay, I have a little to say about this. I've actually been attending a workshop on copyright with an I mean, sort of an AI specialist, an attorney. Anyway, so what he said, and I never really thought about, is I'm going to give you some, and this is not legal advice either. This is just something that you should do some homework in and research. Although they do have this reference image feature, the ways I would probably use it to kind of stay clear of potential problems is I wouldn't just go online and right click any image and try to use that as a resource image. If you want resource images, I would either go to um, like the feed as far as the community feed or anything that's an AI generated image and maybe use it to try to get a style. Um, my biggest challenge has been to get the style of art because I've realized that a lot of the styles of art don't have really good names that the AI for Artistly can pick up on. I think it's kind of the same in Midjourney. You just have to keep playing around until you get the look that you want. So if you have the type of art down a little bit, are able to pick out those keywords that relay what you want to the AI, then that's great. And so a lot of times using those feature images, I think is kind of supposed to kind of do that, be able to mimic those styles. I will tell you that when you reference certain images, a lot of times you will notice in the prompt, it's going to come back with certain artist names. And me personally, I try to steer clear of that because I really don't want it to take and just respit out a certain artist's image. I don't think that's quite right. So I like it to be more general where potentially and hopefully the AI is going out and they're pulling information from a lot of different images to create something new and not from one specific image. Now, having said that, I want to show you another way that you can if you want to be sure that your images are more safe and that they haven't just, I mean, I guess I'm terrified of the concept that maybe this AI is just like a glorified Google that just goes out and is spitting out these images to you from someone else's stuff rather than using the knowledge and the looks of these items and then creating new things. That's sort of something that I don't think is happening, at least with Artistly so far, but I'm not sure how these places are coming up with their stuff and exactly what the AI is doing with them. You know, I'll just be honest and say that. Okay, so we're going to go into Google, and a lot of you may not know, but you can actually search by image. So I'm going to go into my files, and I am going to go over here and see what I can find. Let's see. Let me find. I'll just do my mouse here. Okay. So you can see that when I go to find image source, these are just going to show me some other mice that have, well, that's not it. That's not even the mouse. Oh, I guess the source for it. Okay. So if you go back to matches, okay, you're going to see that this one is similar on Etsy, but it's not the exact same mouse. He doesn't even look like my mouse. So, you know, to me, that's a safer image because none of these mice that it found that were similar is this mouse. It's not this mouse completely. In fact, the way that this mouse is made, his hair or fur, whatever you call a mouse is. Let's go to Etsy and look at this mouse. Okay. See, that mouse doesn't look anything like my mouse. So I feel pretty safe with that image. So if you have doubts or you want to make sure that your mouse or your, you know, oh, well, that didn't take me where I wanted to go. Okay. Anyway, so this is just an example of how you can use that feature. And I'm just going to go backtrack out. It's right here. It's search by image, and it's great when I have done other things that I've used my images. You know, I always, you know, I try to look and see what it's doing. And so far, Artistly, I have not found any images that were duplicates of, or even really looked like it was very, very close. As far as that. But that's something you can do to help protect yourself and have better understanding. Okay, that's not sure what that is. Okay, so let me go back to, I don't want those. Okay, so we're going to go back in here and look at some of these. Okay, so it's added these things. Personal designs allow for category folders and user defined. And they do. We didn't have this feature, and I had a bazillion. I mean, I had so many images in that main feed, and it was really, really difficult for me to find anything. So now we do have that option, and I'm going to go back over here and go back into Artistly. Okay, so we're going to go back down here where we were at before. Okay, so over here, you're going to see this consistent character. I'm not sure. I know that this has the premium consistent character. I'm not sure. It doesn't really say that it has that feature over here, the consistent character. So I don't really think you can do that with this version, the commercial version over here. So consistent character is very cool. That is how anybody that's in my group will know that I have a little branding image. It's a watercolor girl basically that I kind of use in my stuff. In fact, if you're watching this video from YouTube and you saw any of my thumbnails, Um, or even my cover image, you'll see her on those. And I created her, and I have her in all different poses and different things like that. So consistent character still has some limitations. It's a lot harder to get multiple people into a prompt using the consistent character. They're working, they're tweaking. It'll get here eventually, but it's really good as far as taking that one person and putting them into different settings. Like, for instance, in my group, I've had that same girl sit in a chair reading a book. Um, I've had her behind a desk with a laptop. I've had her with like balloons and confetti. I did that one yesterday. I've had her sitting at a table with drinking coffee. I mean, I can make her do all kinds of things, which is so helpful when you're wanting to do something consistent. So if you want something to be the same image doing different things. So that is available in the premium version of Artistly. And so that's really handy. You also have a custom face feature, which is kind of cool to play around with. I'm not sure. For most people, it's not going to be great, but I'm going to tell you a little tip. You can use this custom face, not your face. Just don't think about using it for your face, but think about, okay, so Artistly did a great image, and let's just say the character itself, you would like, maybe it's a fairy or something else, and you want it to look like a previous or an angel or something, and you like the way that angel looks, but they put a different face on it. Well, you could go back and pull in the other image from your personal designs, and you can then have it swap out that face to have the same face as some of your previous images. So there's a lot that you could do with that feature. So that's pretty cool. Now down here is something that a lot of people just don't know about. It's called the Improve Hand and Finger. So sometimes, I was told this a long time ago, if for some reason when you do your redesigns down here and they're being a little slow, or maybe they don't return the results that you really would like, try it by, instead of doing the redesign random, go down here and do improve hand and finger. Okay. Now you can do consistent character, I think, and still do improve hand and finger, but I'm not really sure about that. There's also down here some other things like the age, the emotion. You can use these. A lot of people are trying to put those all into their prompts, but you do have the option of choosing an age and also some emotions and ethnicities and seasons, which create the ability for you to get some things built into your designs that you're not having to actually tell it to do through your prompt. So those are some things you can play with, okay? So we've kind of gone through all of these things and what these things are. So now we're going to go back to the roadmap and just kind of look at it again, and look and see what some things that people are wanting them to do. The upscale by 4x, that's cool. They've got the 2x now, so we probably would get 3x before 4x. Vectors, that would be a really cool feature to have, to be able to export in a vector form that's infinitely scalable. That would be great. I'm trying to do some create line art from photos, which is kind of the line art, but the line art from photos would be kind of cool. 4K image quality. These are just some things that other people have put. Okay, favorite or bookmark designs from the community designs tab. That would be cool. A duplicate mode, producing slightly changed variants. That one we kind of already, it does a little bit different. Add an AI model to produce extremely detailed, colorful images, even more so than photorealistic. Yeah, that would be nice. Okay, search functionality in the personal designs tab. To a degree, I think they've added this. It's not on here, so it must not be completely finished yet. This is good from the personal designs. This would be a game changer because you could search for florals or whatever, and it would help you kind of find them without having to go through all those, because I still have a lot of images that I would have to go back and manually put into folders, and I just haven't done it yet because I have not had time. But allowing two photos to be uploaded to create a mashup design image, that's cool. A text editor to make text and image editable. That seems a little bit more complicated. Editing tool or integration with Design Bee. These are their other products. So this right here was already done, the create folders for personal designs. I'll tell you what I'm going to put in there is, because it would make a huge, now, let's go back into Artistly because there is like a rapid over here. And I honestly never have paid that very much attention, but I'm gonna. Okay, so if you want a rapid, it moves it. What it does is it moves it down this to this 512 by 512, and let's see what it does, just for the heck of it. It honestly does not appear to be any. Oh, okay. I have it at 4, a quantity of 4. So really it is going to take a little bit longer because it's creating 4 images. So anytime you ask it to do 4 over here, and also anytime that you are really trying to create multiple designs per one prompt, you can expect it to take just a little bit longer because it's producing more at one time. So see, that was the rapid. It only does the small for the rapid, but let's just see, you know, what 4 images we end up with. There's our little puppies I did this morning. I never have really used the rapid feature. So I guess that would be something you don't need really high quality, or that you could upscale because it's not going to be very big. Maybe stickers that you could do with a little bit, you could upscale and still have them be good quality. So you could play around with that feature. But like I said, now if I had done rapid, and I may try that too with just one image, it's probably a lot faster. But I do know that when you're doing 4 images, it does take a little bit longer at one time because you are doing the same thing and actually, I guess it is, if you take into consideration the time it takes to create one image and then how long it takes to do 4, it's probably substantially less than what if you do each one of those each time, because every time you've got to go back up to the top and it pulls it down to the bottom. Okay, so we've got 4 images here. Now these did not render in the way that I'm going to make this private. So all of those. Now, when you render like that, when you make one image private, it makes all of them private. So that saves a little bit of time. While it's doing all that, I'm just going to go back over here and look at these features again. It's just making that private. Okay, let's see where we were at. Some of these are, I'm going to go down to the bottom, or I'm not going to be at the bottom, but I'm going to be down here. Some of these are probably things that, see, a lot have been completed and stuff, but either they may be older or they may be like, see, this is the same thing that someone else, did. So I'm going to go back up here because, see, there's actually a search that you can do for whatever you're wanting to do. So I really want them to make those folders, and make the, that general feed where you can, you can move multiple images, from main feed to a folder. So where you could select them. So I'm not seeing where that's in there. Excuse me. Yes, bulk move images to folders. See, I'm going to go ahead and vote on that one. And y'all go in and vote on this one right here because that's what I want. Bulk move images to folders. There is a bulk delete that you can, or bulk remove, but there's not a bulk move images to folders. Yep, see, I love this one. This one is definitely something that I would think needs to be remove bulk images easily. Well, they did that when they completed that one, so. And we can already delete failed images. That's easy. All you do is while it's processing, you go up and you do that. Okay, so I think you understand all this. I will take this roadmap URL and I'll post it down in the comments, down in my little description area, so that if you are already using Artistly, you can use that. If you're not using Artistly and this looks great to you, I do have an affiliate link. Please use it. It really helps me and it doesn't cost you any more. And I do have a group that I can invite you to if you let me know you've purchased using my link. And I'm always trying to do helpful videos as we find issues, I try to address those, and that's kind of how I build my my YouTube channel as well. So let's go back in here. Now this gave 4 images like this. I'm going to go back in this prompt and see if I can figure out how we could make this better. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, and this is just me playing with the prompt. I'm going to try to get it to, okay, so let's go back over here while it's doing that. Okay. Now you will see I jump around a lot. So I don't sit there and watch for things to happen. I do go back into like now. Okay, this is good. Okay, I'm going to try the rapid, but with one quantity now. And I'm going to redo this prompt so you get an idea what. See, they're saying a set of watercolor roses, clip art featuring delicately painted roses and various. Okay, so I'm going to try to rewrite this. Instead of set of, I'm going to replace this with clip art bundle. Watercolor roses. I'm going to take that out because we have selected watercolor, so I don't think we need that. And I am going to say delicately painted roses. I'm going to put a comma and then I'm going to put various colors and stages of bloom. Part featuring delicate painted roses and various. Okay. Let's see. I always take the dots out because they always mess up with the transparency. Okay, so let me go back up. Let's see. I don't want to have duplicate things. Clip art bundle, delicately painted roses, various colors and stages of bloom. And I'm going to, because I would rather it have painted roses. I'm going to put a cascading bouquet of delicately painted roses, various colors and stages of bloom. Let's see. I'm going to delete these. Now, you can take this, you could just copy this into like a notepad or something and work with it outside of this little prompt box. But I'm just doing it because it's easier for me to do it right now for you guys by not having to open another program. Okay. And then put, you don't need the width, just put intricate details and soft blended hues. Each rose should be isolated. Okay. Now they wanted roses. I'm changing it to a bouquet, so I'm going to remove this and just put the comma there. So it's got isolated on a transparent. I'm not going to do that. I am going to put on, I'm going to put isolated on a white background. Okay, and then we're going to try this. Now this is really small and it's going to do multiple images, but this is just so we can kind of see. So I'm going to do the rapid thing. And okay, not sure why that didn't do. I mashed rapid. I thought that's what I did a few minutes ago. Okay. While that's creating, I'm going to go back in over here. This AI human in painting is another feature you don't get. The face in AI images, we looked at that. Faster image generation. Okay, so I know how fast it is for me. I don't have any way to compare what it is over here, but that is not anything that is over here. So apparently this version and this version, this one's going to be faster and I guess get the speed improvements quicker than this one. I mean, they have to have two packages. There's $100 difference basically in them. But you know, the unlimited usage, I don't know if there are any, like what the limits are over here on this one. It doesn't say unlimited usage under this one. Oh, it says unlimited these things right here. So, no monthly fees, neither have that. Access to all features. See, I like that I get access to all the features because I'm just that way. This doesn't really. And of course, you get everything in the other package plus all these other things. But anyway, so this one's the one I have, and so I can only speak to it. But you know, I do know that there are lots of people in my group that use this package, and they are still creating some amazing designs. It just may not be as they may not have they just don't have all the you just don't have all the options. So, and the fact is, I think you could start at this one and maybe upgrade to this one. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so it did produce my image here, and it only did the one. I'm gonna make it private. Okay, I'm gonna go out of here, and it's just working on that image to make it private. For some reason that has been sticking lately, so I'm actually going to close out of it and go back in. I don't know why the make private has been having some little blips, but anyway. Okay, see, this is what I wanted to show you, the server error. Most of the time that means that they are tweaking. Okay, there you go. So there's my refresh, and then I'm going to go into the AI designer. I'm showing this to you exactly the way it is to me. So I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm trying to be practical and show you that while it's not perfect, it's still a great program. Okay, so I'm going to try to go in and make that private because for some reason that is sticking. I have a pretty open relationship, as in I communicate a lot. See here, we could remove the design. I don't want to do that. I just want to make it private. Okay. So basically what we have is two options here, and I hope that I have sort of pulled out some of these additional things that you may hear people in the group talking about, or if you're doing them, you may not even know that there's if you have Artistly and you're not in my group, then you may not even know that you may have this package and not even really realize that there are these options for other folks. But okay, so it's got that changed. Okay. So I hope that this has been helpful and that you have seen some ways that you can use the program. You've gotten a little bit better insight on how to get changes to the program, how you can be an active part of the development, which I think is just the coolest thing, because in 6 months we probably won't even recognize what Artistly is, because the technology's changing and they're tweaking, like I said, every day. They just rolled out a 2.0 and they're already planning a 3.0 with more things in the coming months. Excuse me. But of course, we're in the learning stages. I mean, we're in the very beginning of this development. So we're not Midjourney. The program's not Midjourney yet. They want to be better than Midjourney, but of course, you've got to get from point A to point B. And as you're trying to make improvements on existing applications or platforms that are out there, there are bound to be things that you run into. So, I guess what I did want to kind of share with you before I end the video are just a few of my workflow tips. Okay. If you have limited time to actually do your clip arts, then planning becomes a very important part of the process. So obviously, if we just go into the program and we're just like, oh, what am I going to make? Oh, I think I'll make a dog, or I'll do whatever. If you are making clip art or even printables or whatever. Now, I will say that, like, when I have been designing some of the wedding invitations that I've done in the past few days, which is not my norm. I'm normally the clip art, but I designed some clip art that just lent itself for me to design something with it. I just had to stop and do some design because I'm actually really, in the design space. That's kind of where I'm from, as a graphic artist background. The putting the things together with the art is kind of more natural than me just creating the art. But however, if you are that person, if you're the printables person, or you have a blog, or you're going to make invitations or other kind of cards or wall art, Artistly is well, and AI in general is a really neat way to create, because you can create the elements you need. If you need a tree, you can create a tree. If you need a truck, you can create a truck. You can put the tree and the truck together. And I do have some videos already on, designing and putting different clip art elements together to create new art. Because my understanding, and please don't hold me to it, is that, you cannot, you don't own copyright to that individual image, but when you take it and you create other things with it, then you would be able to copyright that particular image that you've created, because you put the work in together. And that's not like take the image and change the color or put a filter on it or anything like that. That would not allow you to get a copyright on that image. But in reality, and I'm just going to be honest here, it's super hard, and we're probably not. I mean, we get copyright, but if we were ever going to actually like sue somebody for it, and I'm not an attorney, this is not legal advice, this is just practical advice, it would be difficult. I mean, are we going to copyright every single image? Now, some people may. Some artists that have physically painted or drawn, something they may to create their, that particular image, for instance, like the Mona Lisa or whatever, if it was a painting that was very well known or the artist was very well known, they probably would register the copyright on every single thing they did. But as creators like we are, you know, time's passing fast. This industry moves quickly, and that's probably not practical for us. We're probably not going to want to do that anyway. But our AI design is not, as AI spits it out, it's not, you can't copyright that. But, what we do is we put collections together and sell the clip art together. So we do have some control over that, how we're not selling that one image per se. We're making it easier for people to um, get the art that they need or whatever. So anyway, so it's easy to do the commercial artwork. But anyway, that's a whole different subject. But anyway, so back to workflow. You would think I had none because I talk randomly and all over the place and I squirrel so much. But so many things are interchangeably a part of one another. It's really difficult to talk about one thing without also talking about the other thing at the same time. So for me, these are some of the things that I do to make Artistly and other programs work for me. Number one, and I've said this over and over again, I don't sit there and watch the wheel when it is designing. It's a waste of time. Yes, it may take a few more minutes, but I've got plenty of other things to do. I usually have multiple tabs. This is early in the morning for me, so I have very few tabs. Last night I had about 40 tabs opened at one time. I'm always going back and forth checking email, doing all these different things. But if you sit there and you're watching your images, I don't care whether it's on Midjourney or somewhere else, um, you get used to about how long it takes, and then you go back in and you make it private. So do that quickly, obviously. But there are, try to create multiple images on one prompt. That's going to save, it may take a few seconds longer. In the long run, it's going to save you time because instead of getting one image, you have then multiplied your workflow by 4 or 5 times, if not more, by creating it on the one thing. The second way that you can do is if you do have premium and you have that option to create 4 images at one time, that's also another option or way to do the same thing. You're getting multiple images from one prompt, but in this case, most of the time, if you design them at 1024 by 1024, then you take them into the Artistly Upscaler. No, I'm sorry. When you're doing the prompts individually like that at the 1024 by 1024, and you're only designing a single image. So you're not putting your prompts that are going to deliver multiple images. Now you can do the multiple images, but you can just do the individual ones. And for that, most of the time, I would recommend or say that you can save some time doing the individual images, like the puppies I had down here, like these. These were done with individual images, but if I had done the prompt, the Create 4, and used that with the premium package, then I could have had, it would have spit these 4 out at one time, just like it spit these out right here, these roses all out. So if I have these, then what I can do is I can go over into, and I'm going to show you the upscaler real quick. And it does take a little bit of time, but I'm going to show you the upscaler. Okay, so if I were going to, most of the time what I upscale are more of the packs, and I'm going to kind of, okay, so I'm going to go down here to one of my packs. So let's just say I was going to upscale this one here. Okay, I've selected that one. I normally would do the two. If you're doing a human a human photo, you can use that. And then you would do upscale design. Okay, am I going to sit here and wait on this to upscale? No, I'm not. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to be doing something else. I'm going to be in Canva. I'm going to be setting up my brand template. Use this template. I'm going to already scroll down and let's just say I'm going to already know that I'm going to do a school days part pack. Okay, so now I'm going back to upscale. It's still upscaling. It should be appearing pretty quickly. You're going to scroll down. It's going to put the picture here when it's done. I'm going back over here and I'm going up here because this is a copy. I'm going to change this to school days clip art pack, and I'm going to remove the template here because it's not really a template. Okay, then I'm going to go back over here. Still not done. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to play with this. I'm going to add like I said, upscaling does take a little while. This is when I would do an upscale. Okay, here we go. This image is going to start appearing here, and I'm going to show you also where to save time because it's not about the length of time that it takes for certain tasks. It's making up for it with the way that you do your other tasks. So if you want to use the program and the program delivers the desired results that you want. So right down here it's going to appear, and once it starts appearing, this is the first one in the pack, so I would normally have over here, I would normally already have, the first one's always going to be the one that takes the most time because you're setting everything up, but then you're going to always have one you can be working on. So here we go. So there it is. Now, instead of going through here and then, doing whatever, this one's already been saved. This one's already in my personal designs, so I don't have to, go back in and make it private. It's already private. So I'm going to click the download, and it's going to download it right from this screen instead of going all the way back to the beginning again. So then I'm going to take this pack in, and I'm going to go over here to upload in Canva, and I'm going to upload this image. Okay. So this is my process, and I do it in another video, but I'm just going to do it now for those that are just watching this one. So now I'm going to take this multi-image thing here. The first step is I'm going to remove the background because that's going to save me time in the long run. I'm removing the background. It's simple in Canva. I think I've mentioned before that I don't get bogged down. If there's an image I just can't make work, I just don't worry about it. Now, right off the bat, I see this image, this image, this image. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to do 6 pages. So I'm going to duplicate this like 6 times or 7 times, whatever. Okay, then I'm going to start at the bottom and work up. And what I'm going to do is it already has the background removed. I'm going to click on it and edit photo. And I'm going to show you how I break the images apart and make my individual clip art. So what I'm going to do first is I always do it big if I can to try to get the most out of it. Now I'm going to show you just exactly the way I do it. Okay, so for that one, I removed that. And now what I'm going to do is use my handlebars to make it a little faster. And then I'm going to drag it like this, and now I have this image. So this image has been upscaled. These little things are part of the art, so these don't need to be cleaned up or anything. Now I've got one piece of clip art done. I'm going into the next one, and I'm going to isolate another one. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, let's just say I'm going to grab this green apple. See? Now I used to like do that on the whole thing, and then I realized that I still have to use the handlebars to get the image to size the way that I want it to. So I stopped doing that. Now you'll see that I left a little spot. That's easy to fix. I go back in. I look right over here and blow this up a little bit. And I can drag it from the side here. And then right here you see that I've got that little piece of green. And now I have easily removed that as well. Okay, so now we have two images. I repeat that. Now see, when I'm doing this, I don't have time to be watching Artistly. So what I normally would have done is I would have basically been inside of, if I wanted to do this one, I'm just going to go to a personal design. And okay, let's just say I would have already, now see, I can't do this one because it will not allow you to, you can modify it, but you can't redesign it. And that's because I grabbed it from on down here somewhere, wherever I was at. I have so many personal designs, it takes it a while. Okay, so anyway, that's way down there, so I'm probably not going to use that one. Anyway, so just to speed the video along, before I started dissecting the image I just pulled into Canva, I normally would have gone back into this image here. I probably would have gone back in and done my redesign, and that way I'm designing my new sheets. I am so sorry about my voice. I would be redesigning this at the same time I'm breaking down this one. So that gives Artistly plenty of time, but I have not lost any of my work time. That's why, again, I go back to plan your packs out, know what you want them to look like. Already have that kind of solidified before you start a pack or you start some images. Now, let's go back to the single images. These single images like this. Okay, so I would normally not I would normally not upscale this image. It is at 1024 by 1024. I work inside Canva. If you do something different, then you may have different results. I'm going to show you here what I normally would do. Okay, so I've got a blank page. Let me just pull in, let me pull in an image, a single image that I can work with, that I have not done anything with. Okay, so let me just use this one that I created. I made that one into something. Okay, so now I have this single image I'm working with. It's at 1024 by 1024, straight out of Artistly. Now I'm going to open up my Photoshop just to show you the DPIs and everything, because I use this to check, and you can use other programs. I just already have Photoshop, so I'm going to do that. So while that's coming up, I'm going to, oops, now it's up. Okay, so I'm going to go in and show you exactly. I'm going to open that image. Let me find it. The one I just pulled in the light bulb. Where's my light bulb? There it is. Okay, I'm going to pull him in. Okay, I haven't removed the background on this one, but anyway, so I'm going over to image, down to image size in Photoshop, and it's going to show you that basically it did it as a 10 by 10 inch image at the 1024 by 1024. So that's what the inches were, 10.667 by 10.667. However, our resolution is only at 96 pixels per inch. Now, I could change that inside this program, but I'm not going to. Okay, so we're just going to keep that there. I'm going back into here. I'm going to remove my background really quick. And then I'm going to export this image and show you the difference. Okay, so when I go to download this image, it's page 4. I'm going down here, I'm clicking, unselecting those, going to page 4, so it only does that one. I'm clicking that I do a transparent background, and then I'm going to drag this all the way over to the 15 by 15, okay? And then I'm going to download it. And then I'm going to go take it back into Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to take it back into Photoshop by opening that particular one that just downloaded. Okay. All right. So this is the new image, which is going to be a transparent image, which really doesn't matter whether it has the background or not. They are both PNGs. Okay, so it just put that one in there. Then I'm going to go back over here, go to image size, and you're going to see that it has enlarged it. It's huge. It's 52 inches by 52 inches. And now from Canva, straight out of Canva now, it's a resolution of 300. And so I didn't have to do the upscaler on that particular one because it wasn't already reduced. If it's a multiple image to one at the 1024 by 1024, you really need to run it through the upscaler just to give it a better boost and a little bit better quality. But, and you can see this is a good image. It's real crisp. Okay. So I hope that helps you because a lot of digital creators doing clip art and stuff like that, we are very aware that we want to make sure that the end product is a good product. Now, could we go in and could we reduce that down to like a 3,000 by 3,000 pixels? We could. We absolutely could. And still have it, we could use Photoshop or something like that and reduce it. I don't. I just leave it the way it is. I mean, if somebody wants to do a 52-inch thing, then they're in a better position to do it then. I would love the scalable where you don't have to worry about all the pixelation and everything. But for now, I mean, honestly, I have drop boxes where I store my stuff. And my whole thing is if I run out of space to store these things and I'm selling them, I don't care. I'll just buy more space. So that doesn't really bother me that much. The end user can downsize them however they want them. You do have the option to take that step and reduce that, or you can do it with the handlebars. I mean, you could, for instance, play with this download. Let's do it again. And you can play with it and not drag it all the way over. Let's do the same image. Okay, done. Transparent. And then we've got it at 5,000 by 5,000 because that's actually my screen size. I use that because my thumbnails for Etsy usually reduce properly and they can still see all of my information in my thumbnail. So I use the 5,000 by 5,000. It's just me. Like I said, I have my own little ways. So let's just go halfway like this, okay? And now, of course, this is a pro feature. All of this right here is pro feature. Like I said, you can go in and you can do halfway. We're going to do halfway. And we're going to download that one. We're going to take it back into Photoshop. Okay. And we're going to import it. And we're just going to see, because if you're, see, we've got our PNG. we're going to go to image size, and now you're going to see that it only did it at 180 that way. It's for a huge size, but it only did it at 180 resolution. So, like I said, in order to do the way that, um, you know, the way that I do it and save that step, then you would need to drag your the little drag bar over there all the way to the side to get the proper resolution. Now, I can go in here and I can change. If you have Photoshop, you can go in and you can change to pixels, and you can do, let's just say 5,000. 5,000. 5,000. And the 300, and you can just save it like that. And then it's going to show you how it's reduced it down, and you can see that it's still good quality. I mean, you can do all sorts of things. I just try to do things as quickly as I can, and cut out the steps that I don't need. I hope that this has given you a little bit better idea about the ins and outs and how you can design inside Artistly. Still do it without it taking a lot of time. I know that there are those folks that, again, I'll speak to the ones that only have a certain amount of time, and they're frustrated because maybe it's not as fast or spitting out the product as some of the other programs might be, on ways that you can, like I said, plan your packs out and then already be prepared, set you up some brand templates, so like mine, inside Canva, so you can already know what your pack's you're not recreating the wheel every time, you're just pulling that in. There's a lot of basic things with our design that we do all the time, and if we can make those work quicker, then we save lots of time and we're able to produce packs and our other images a lot faster. Now, if you're doing posters and you're doing all this other stuff, the speed's really not going to be as much of an issue for you because you're designing less quantity of items. I mean, you might play around, but that's kind of part of the design part of, designing an element, and then if that element doesn't work, you want to design some others. You can do it as if you're designing for a pack, and you can create like that school days. You could do a whole pack at one time, multi images with one prompt that are going to be similar to your theme. For instance, if you had barn yard animals, I do hope I'm not getting sick again, but anyway, if you had barn animals that you were going to do a barn poster, learning poster or something, and you could do a bunch of them at one time, then get the art right and then work on the other stuff. But you do have other elements to your product that you can be working on. You can be working on exactly what sort of poster you're doing, the text for that, the sizing that you're going to use. I mean, you can still plan out your product. I know that Jessa Bellman, if you're in her group, memberships, the Template Creators Society, I know that she has all sorts of resources for that sort of thing. She has little PDFs that you can print out and then plan your store, plan your products, and all that sort of thing. And those are very handy. And if you already have that membership, then it's there for you. You may as well use it. So, plan your products and try to be less random in what you're doing, because this is a business for you and you want to make sure that you're utilizing your time. So I don't want anybody to sit in there going, Artistly's really slow, because they're watching, the little circle go round and round and round when they could be doing something else. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you exactly how to do your business, but that's just a way that I have found that I really, really, it really works for me. And several of the people that I've mentioned it to, it works for them too. And, I can't tell you how many times when I first got the program, I was doing the exact same thing. And I will tell you, it doesn't matter what program it is, I despise a progress bar and a little thing going around. It just bothers me, so that's why I don't like to watch it. I like to, I got a feel for the time it takes to do something, and I move on, and I multitask. I really, really multitask, but I do that with everything. I mean, while I'm designing, I'm in Facebook. I'm on the Template Creators Society Facebook page. I'm commenting and trying to help other people. I'm inside my Design It with Trotter's Lane's Treasures Facebook group. I'm on there. I'm talking to my members inside that group. I'm all over the place. I'm a realtor. So I'm answering the phone. I'm doing a lot of things. I would not be able to do this if I did not make the maximum, um, if I didn't use my time to the maximum, and learn how to multitask. So hopefully all of this is not squirreled too much and you have been able to get something out of it. I hope it'll be an investment of time that for you that will be worth the time that you watched it. And I'm always open to your comments. If you have suggestions on additional videos you would like for me to do, please leave me a comment. I'm looking for topic ideas because I don't want to do videos on things nobody wants to watch or need. So put a comment down there. Subscribe to my channel so you know when I put out new videos. They're on all sorts of subjects to do with digital creating, anywhere from Canva to Artistly to Adobe Photoshop, Etsy. I'm going to be covering some other platforms soon just to introduce you to them. And I have lots of ideas, but I'm open to your ideas as well. So be sure and subscribe, comment, like my videos, share my video if you have a group that does the same thing that you think it would be helpful. And I'll see you on the next video.